mad plugs for you out there. You know, hey, good people need to know where the good folks are. And by the time we finished the second day of games, which was Saturday, it was just day and night. We had a lot of great games. Oakmont had games taking place there at Oakmont High School. And I was calling games in Roseville. Man, to work with Jim Cooley, these guys, man, do a great job over there. We had two stadiums going at the same time, rocking out. Man, it was just bananas. The level of play, um, the coaching, everything that you would expect to see. I was not disappointed. I will say that the fans have a different way of doing things. There's a boy, there is a team called the Paradise Bobcats. I think out of all the teams I've met that whole weekend, they really impressed me. I mean, like they came in with the bullhorns and chanted relentless and just was behind them. Whether they dropped the pass, you'll get it next time. Like yo, it was just the environment was electric. I was glad to be able to put some video up so those things can be shared not only on the Cali Bowl page found on Facebook, but Voice Sports as well found on Facebook. So I wanted to be able to take the East Coast with me and every every point in between on this journey. And I know it's just a lot more to be done. I'm still waiting for the day when me and you sit in the same press box.
Yeah, yeah, we definitely got to get that lined up for sure. So
Right.
it's a great experience out in Cal. Is that the first time you've been to California?
Yes, sir, everybody. Yes, sir, everybody. I tell you what, when we left, like I said, it's nice and warm. I think it's kind of odd because it goes about 80 in the day, and then by like 7, 8 o'clock, it's like 50, 60. It's real brisk, but jacket weather, really nothing major. Even when it rained, it was warm. It was like, this is wild. It's pouring down raining, and everything is just, everybody's just cool with it. That soaking rain, that wow. It was an incredible experience. Um, hats off to Brent Chris Gray, great people over there, H2K Sports, H2K Apparel, putting together the event. As always, when you go to these events, the same way you have people say, man, it was incredible, it was a great experience. You always got those one or two people that want to nitpick and complain or find something. And I think the only thing that I think we really, really, really try and do better next year, speaking on behalf of things, is that I'll make sure we get the live streams and the videos out there um, uh, at a higher quality. I think I saw a lot of complaints about that, and if that's the only downside to the whole event in totality, I think that's more than admirable. A lot of the games that were played were very competitive. Of course, in youth sports, you got some things that make you raise ire and go, hold up, I didn't see this kid play before. To be the kind of announcer I am, I'm gonna call it out if I see it. I like it. I like it that way. It's just been it's fun. Yeah, it's fun, man. I know as a constituent, you do a fair share moving around too, Kenny, man. You know what it's like to go into a new place. And by day two, it's home. You know, develop bonds. I never traded in for the world. I love what I do.
Yeah, it can be a lot of fun. It can be tasking at times, but if we didn't like it, we wouldn't be doing it. And I enjoy it all the time. Getting it all over the place, all over the nation, looking at the talent that's out there.
Yeah, and I know like I do. It's very time consuming because you have not only social media, you have your emails and your text messages and people sending you hug video and photographs and things coming up that there's times if you really, really, really don't really sit down and manage your time, there's a lot of information in youth sports from coast to coast that is going up into the atmosphere for nothing. And I think the effort to bring that positive and they're not getting that type of exposure. They're not giving that media. We have to find those student athletes. Not to sound corny, but I always listen to a song by YouTube. Uh, still never found, still haven't found what I'm looking for. You know, I was listening to that thing, Rocket in the Plane. I was like, man, yo, somewhere it's a kid. Somewhere there's a kid that's awesome. I mean, like never seen him before. Awesome. We're gonna find him. It's not gonna be on the radar. It's not gonna be the same boy everybody keeps talking about. It's a special kid out there that's gonna change the game. There's a lot of great kids out there that change things. So I never want if I had any control over it, a student athlete to go out onto the field. For one, you're not compensated. Two, they put their bodies on at a very early age. And three, they play because they love the game. When you get to high school, it's wow, I want to start. Put that girl eyeballing me. I want the most flair on my varsity jacket. When you get to college, it's about keeping your scholarship. When you get to the pros, it's about a check. It's about doing what you got to do to keep your revenue straight. To catch it at the youth sports level is awesome because we get to see it while they still love it from the heart. So if you enjoy it with them, the memories some of these kids will share from hearing Kenny Long Show, touchdown, and they name follow up behind it, Billy Buchanan. He may remember that the rest of his life. So the journey is always awesome, man. But I know you can. I know me. If me and you sat down and just kick some stories of being on the road, it could be some good ones and some bad ones. We might have to set that up one night. But I was looking, I was looking at college football, and I was really upset at some things at the way I feel like there's a level of favoritism somehow when you start looking at these teams. I can sit down and intricately go into um, these 4 sheets of paper that I sat down and started when I knew we was gonna get to the nitty gritty with this. Um, how do you feel about the way everything is bracketed up and the matchups for this NCAA playoff bracket, the bowl series, and everything?
And I was gonna get into that with you, and
Oh my gosh!
it I got to be honest, I talked about this a little bit last night on last night's show, and of course, I heard all from the Ohio State fans how they're just up in arms right now. We're conference champions. Why are we not in the top 4? Blah blah blah. And I got to be honest, and you know me, I don't hold nothing back really. I am by any stretch of the imagination, an Alabama fan.
Right.
I am not a Bama roll tide, sport my A all over the place, regardless of how bad they suck. I'm not going to do it. Okay. But
my man Kenny go hard.
I've been doing that the last couple of weeks. I don't know what's going on with me. You're not the only one. You're not the only one that said that lately I've been going hard.
You got that super villain voice when you do it too. You
like. So here's the thing. I think they got it right. I really do. Granted, Ohio State did win the Big Ten championship, which, in all intents and purposes, people say, well, if they're one of the top college conference champions, they should automatically be in. And that is not what the job of the panel is, the selection committee for the college football playoffs. They are there to pick the 4 best teams in college football to compete for the national title. And I don't see Ohio State as being one of those. They destroyed Wisconsin in the first half, and then they just
Mm-hmm.
looked at like a completely, totally different team, and they almost lost that game.
Yeah,
They almost lost that
I
game.
agree.
That coupled with the horrible, horrible loss that they took to Iowa. We're talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa Hawkeyes ain't done squat since they had Coach Fry.
Mm-mm.
And
Yep.
you lose not just by one touchdown, you lose by a few touchdowns. You got blasted. I think that came into play when they had the
Yeah.
selection, and the fact that they put Alabama at number 4, I can live with that. Had they put them at 2, that there I would have been upset. But I think they got it right. I think Clemson 1. I think you got Oklahoma 2. You've got Georgia 3 and Alabama 4.
Right. Right. See, and so now this is why I love having conversations with you, because if we were in a sports classroom and a professor was asking us a question, I would turn and look at you and say, "He just took my answer." He took my answer. See, I would say the exact same thing, yet in part. I love the way the brackets came out. I just don't think that if anything was going to be switched around, I would like to see Alabama play Georgia.
I,
I'd
I,
like to see Oklahoma play Clemson.
yeah, and to be honest with you, the Oklahoma Georgia game, I think is probably going to be the best game in this top 4.
Right.
I think that's going to be the best game. Clemson and Alabama. When it comes to Clemson and Alabama, again, Bama fans are going to hate me. Bring it. I don't care. Clemson is a much better team right now.
Yeah.
Clemson is a much better team. Jalen Hurst has shown some inabilities to make the proper decision when under pressure. And that Clemson defense will put him under pressure.
Mm.
And that is going to throw off the Alabama offense.
Can't argue that.
So I think when it comes to the national title game, I think it's going to be Clemson, and I can't decide between Oklahoma and Georgia. I think that is going to be, for lack of better terms, that's going to be a dogfight.
I'll be honest with you, by putting them together right now, it kind of takes the zeal out of it for me. Because whoever wins this game between Oklahoma and Georgia, it's going to be a dogfight. I would have loved to see that as a national championship game.
Yeah, I would have.
More so than watch an Alabama team that really played nobody and probably got the most depth of any of the college teams, position by position. Shouts out to the recruiting staff. Hey, Bama fans. Clemson just has that ability to continue to put themselves in great positions. They can throw the ball. The defense is just lights out. I really like Clemson, but I would have wanted to see Clemson in maybe Oklahoma. And I
Yeah,
would have rather seen a dog fight, a real trench fight between Alabama and Georgia, because both of those offensive and defensive lines are going to get down and dirty. If you're a lineman, if you're a lineman coach, if you're a offensive lineman in study, a game like that would have been awesome to see. It's going to be nice between Oklahoma and Georgia, no doubt. But you're talking about two different monsters. Oklahoma can really pitch and play pitch and catch well. Um, I love Georgia's ground and pound. Now Georgia can't throw the football. When you got a solid run game like Georgia has and can power the football down your throat 50-50 and still be able to make those tangible passes that get you down the field. Hey, a little run after the catch turns a minor pass into a major play.